Did someone innocent live here? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He said I'm innocent. I'm cold, I'm scared. I'm at the Ohio State Reformatory, the notoriously haunted prison, with Jack Osbourne and Katrina Weidman to find some real ghosts. All right, Jack and Katrina, first of all, season 2, congratulations.
Thank you.
More portals to hell to be opened.
Yes.
How did that feel to get that season order and to feel like you'd found some real spirits?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really, the success of season 1 kind of, made it so the good people of travel were like, now go make 20 more. So we're like, okay.
Yeah. So you hit the road.
Yep, pack the bags.
Last time I saw you guys, we were in Salem. Now we're here in Ohio at the Ohio State Reformatory where Shawshank Redemption was actually filmed. So is this part of wanting to up the ante for season 2? How will you make it even scarier and even more connected to the spirit world?
I don't know. It's just kind of, this place is a legendary location for ghost hunting. You go to any forum, a lot of different paranormal shows have come through here. It's like a staple in the Midwest.
We are right now in the room where they filmed Brooks's hotel room after that character got out of Shawshank, because they filmed a lot of scenes that weren't even set in the prison here in the prison. So we're here in Brooks's room. Did you guys watch the movie again in advance of coming here? You did?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Great
sure.
one.
Do you have favorite scenes, each of you?
For me, I like the prison break scene at the
Yeah,
end. And
I
you're
was
like,
just about to say that.
Because
Yep.
I was watching it and I was remembering the first time I saw it and you're like, wait, where the hell did he go?
Yeah.
Like, how the hell did he escape?
Yeah.
And just watching it again and just that, it just took me back.
I think seeing the
reveal.
warden's face
Yeah.
when he realized he's been duped is probably like the best moment for me.
I actually think the warden was like the unsung hero in that whole movie as far as like acting goes. He did such an amazing job and he kind of just, villains often get overlooked.
When you guys come somewhere like here, and look, Shawshank, the story is he was wrongfully imprisoned, but there were some real violent offenders here.
Yeah.
How do you approach the spirits you might meet who might have done horrible things themselves?
It's hard, because, there's actually a few witnesses we've spoken to who feel like when they've come in here, they've been shanked or they've been, it feels like somebody's trying to choke them. So there is a lot of aggressive activity that people have here, and they're very credible sources. A lot of the people we've spoken to have been extremely credible. So I do believe them and that they're being genuine. So then it does make you take a step back and think, well, what exactly are we getting into?
So we're in the solitary confinement area, and you guys are actually going to, for the first time, film whatever you pick up in one of these solitary confinement cells.
Yeah, it's the original, beneath us is the original solitary confinement. And
It's more like a dungeon.
It's never been investigated on television before, so we will be the first ones to do that.
I mean, I was just looking things up before I knew I was going to interview you guys, and they're saying people have told stories about feeling like they were being pushed or touched or really tangible interactions.
Yeah.
Again, Jack, you're staying quiet. How do you feel about that?
No, I'm just, it's funny because a lot of people are like, oh, that's scary. Like, why would you do that? But I kind of get excited about that stuff because I was like, cool, I want to get it on camera. Katrina and I are kind of, I think we're skeptics at heart, I think. And so for me, it's like, prove to me that that's unexplainable. If that makes any sense. So like I get excited when I hear, oh, I've been scratched, been pushed, I've had this happen, that, I've seen this and that. I'm like, awesome. I want to get that on camera.
So we're looking at the cells these people lived in. This is horrible. And you were saying they would sometimes leave the lights on for days and then off. What was it like in these cells?
I mean, I think it would have been pretty miserable. I mean, you weren't allowed to speak. You were fed bread and water. It's kind of like that almost stereotypical depiction of solitary confinement.
Yeah, it was horrible. There were murderers down here, and we actually learned of one very gruesome one today that happened in another section of solitary confinement. So, I mean, those things did happen, and they were very awful.
And by gruesome murder, we mean like the worst of the worst.
Yeah,
like
it's
Hannibal
really
Lecter
bad.
style stuff.
You guys seem like you've really kind of steeled yourselves to a lot of this at this point. Jack, do you want to go in?
Yeah,
there?
let's
You
go
wanna
on in.
Let's just, And then if Katrina, if you want to, I know you guys are partners, just kind of.
Oh, this is miserable.
How is it? Is it scale of 1 to 10? How bad is it?
I don't love it.
Okay. Is there any light or you?
There's a little bit of light. I mean, I
Okay.
can get my fingers out, I think. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this sucks. Do you want to join? You should give this a try.
I'm okay. Yeah, if we want to. Oh.
Okay, I actually want to try it.
Oh, go on.
Just for
There
a
you
second.
go. You can say
Please
you've been in
don't let me
solitaire.
get stuck in
No,
here.
we
Please
won't.
don't let me get
Are
stuck
you
in
ready?
here.
Deep breath.
And I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Okay, yeah, because we're gonna go. Because I'm gonna go back to Los Angeles now. Actually, yep. Okay. Do you ever get a little freaked out about what you might walk away with from an experience? What might stick with you?
Yeah, I think we both
Yeah.
have had some weird stuff happen to us after we leave a location. We both ended up in the ER on the same day, a couple days after we left one of the most, haunted locations in America. You know, so I think it's always something you put in the back of your head, but when you're working, you try to not think about it.
Yeah.
You're staying kind of quiet right now.
No, it has been weird. I mean, and the funny thing is, like, when I'm not doing this show, like, I tend to now like focus on a lot of like really positive, happy things, like celebration of life, because it can be a very depressing job, because we're dealing with death and sadness and hauntings, and like really, you know, it's not like we're going to like the fairground where unicorns prance around. It's like, no, like thousands of people died here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are entering a cell that was actually used.
Yep. Yeah, I'll sit down so we can have some room here. Welcome.
Okay, so remind me about what you guys use in the investigations, the equipment.
Sure. So we have a bunch of different types of equipment that we use, and again, it's all fringe science. But Jack, for example, has a millimeter, which will detect EMF frequencies, and it also has a built-in REM pod, which a REM pod emits its own EMF frequencies. So anything that comes within that will sound it off like that. And the thought is that energies or spirits can manipulate those types of energies.
Okay.
And that we can pick up on them through that equipment.
Okay, and what about you?
This is a custom-made device called Geoport. And this is made by George Brown and George Brown Labs. He's an electrical and mechanical engineer. Basically what it does is it takes EMF waves and frequencies and also radio frequencies, jumbles them all up, and the thought is that energies and spirits can manipulate them and talk to us through that.
We were talking about the horrible things that inmates kind of had to go through here. What did you find out about what they endured here?
Oh, probably the worst one that we found out about today, actually, and it's been running through my head ever since the former inmate told us. But they used to have rats the size of cats, and the prisoners would build like these barricades for their toilets, so the rats couldn't come out and get them while they were sleeping. But it would still happen sometimes, and the prison guard told us that they would hear these men screaming, and all of a sudden everyone would say rats, 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 because some of the prisoners would get scratched.
You're just sleeping in your little tiny
And
shoebox.
this huge rat comes up to you and just
What
scratches
if they
you.
just
It's
wanted to cuddle
insane.
like a cat at night?
And this prison was still active up until the early 90s.
December 1990.
Wow. So the conditions are basically horrible living conditions here.
Oh yeah, well, the reason this place got shut down was because prisoners were writing to the government being like, this place is insane, and they actually sued for like humanitarian issues. And the state shut it down, but it took 10 years to shut it down because they had to relocate and figure out, okay, what we're gonna do with everyone. And so for those 10 years, they stopped doing anything to maintain this place. They just let it crumble with people still in here.
That last sentence you said just hit me really hard. Like, let it crumble with people still in here.
Well, right now you can see, so it's picking up some electromagnetic frequencies, and something is interfering with its own electromagnetic field.
So it's picking up on a presence.
Theoretically, yes. Something is interfering with the signal it's emitting, and it's also picking up some electromagnetic frequencies from something.
When we're in here, you feel something already because we're in this cell that so many people pass through, and you guys were just telling me that sometimes 3 people would live in this tiny cell, and us being in here right now, you feel what life must have been like in here. So it gives a certain energy off, I think, just standing in here.
Yeah.
So you feel something otherworldly right now?
I think you just feel like you feel a heaviness here, right? Because as you said, like the prison just started falling apart and we're kind of in the decrepit space, and you think about somebody living here, and it's like it takes you to a different place a little bit. I think.
Have you yourself ever had a paranormal experience?
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah. No. I mean, I think I've had a couple times where I've seen a little girl sitting at the end of my bed. Yeah. I know. I know.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
okay, to that point though,
The things
there she
started
is.
going off.
But to that point, right? Like, and this is why, you know, when I talk to my friends and everyone's like, "Oh, you're doing a ghost show," this, I'm like, well, you no longer hear people telling stories about dragons or giants or like mythical creatures, but it seems like every other person will have a story about a ghost.
What's crazy is we're all like staying very still in
Yeah.
our spots, and that's going off. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to turn this on.
Okay.
And you can ask any question you want to ask, and we'll see if we can get an answer.
Did someone innocent live here? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He said I'm innocent. Did you ever get out? Did you ever get out of here?
Say I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you die in here?
I am with you. East. It said east.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're in the east cell block.
I heard it again in
Yeah,
the east.
east.
Was it a horrible life in this cell block?
Gods and gods. Get out now. Did you hear that?
Yeah, get out now.
I totally heard that.
That was an order.
Should Lauren stay here by herself?
I'm gonna take get out as a friendly FYI to go. So I think we should go out of the cell. I will not be leaving through the tunnel. And I would imagine you guys have gotten a lot closer through all these experiences.
Yeah.
What is your relationship like together? Do you kind of know she's got this and I've got this part of it, and we're handling that together?
Yeah, I think we, especially when we're working, it's a good balance. You know, Katrina's like the the lifelong expert, and I'm kind of the enthusiast. So it's a good, healthy balance.
Wow, you guys are like, you're like the two friends in Shawshank.
Yeah.